Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we have a review of the new horror movie starring Maisie Williams, The Owners. The Owners is a 2020 horror thriller film adapted from the graphic novel Une Nuit de Pleine Lune by Herman and Yves H. Directed by debut director Julius Berg, with the screenplay by Matthew Gompel and Julius Berg in collaboration with Jeff Cox. It stars Maisie Williams, Sylvester McCoy, Rita Tushingham, Jake Curran, Ian Kenny, and Andrew Ellis. And in the movie, an elderly couple turn the tables on a group of young thieves who broke into their house while they were away. So to start things off, I had no idea this movie was coming out. It's pretty much a straight to Blu-ray release. It was in a few theaters in the beginning of September, but it was nowhere near me, so I hadn't even heard about it. I'm a big fan of Maisie Williams, who of course played Arya Stark in Game of Thrones. So if I see Maisie Williams' name, I definitely buy. And I bought the Blu-ray on BestBuy.com before I even watched the movie. And I'm not a big fan of horror movies. I heard this one was decent, so I decided to pick it up anyway. And to start things off on the positive side, this is getting compared to a lot to the movie Don't Breathe, in which someone breaks into a house and then the tables are turned and the hunters become the hunted. And for like the first about 35-40 minutes, I was into this movie. I liked the setup all the way to the point where they kind of come to a breaking point of where the tables are about to turn. And when they got to the point, I was like, holy shit, that's pretty epic. That's pretty cool. I liked the setup with all the characters. I thought that was good. There was some good character development going on in a horror movie. I thought that was pretty interesting. But right when the tables start to turn, that's where my attitude towards this movie turned, and it turned into not such a pleasant experience. So in The Owners, if you're a fan of setup, you will definitely like this movie because it's about 95% setup and then the payoff is just not very worth it. In these movies, you kind of want to believe that someone is a certain way before they turn, so the turn is even more shocking. But as soon as the elderly couple stepped on screen in this movie, I'm like, they seem overly nice, they seem overly sweet, something's up with these people. And of course there ends up being it. And without spoiling this movie, if you want to go watch it, I didn't buy their rationale by the end of it, even though it's like, oh, we're crazy, this is why we did this. Usually killers are a little bit more fair with their victims, and that wasn't the case in this movie whatsoever. It didn't help that the actors' performances in this movie were not very good. Two of the most interesting characters get killed off right away. I won't tell you who they are, so I won't spoil it. But I'm like, oh, well, their dynamic was cool and their dynamic was interesting. I guess they're dead now? So it's just Maisie Williams and this other person? I was disappointed by that. I really wish we would have got to know those characters a little bit more. That would have been nice to see. But Maisie Williams is really great in this movie. She's kind of plays a one note the whole time. It's pretty much whenever Arya saw a White Walker in Game of Thrones, she's like, That's basically what she's doing the entire movie here. I wish she was a little bit more of a badass, but she does a pretty good job on the role. I think she's pretty charismatic. And of course, with a movie like this, there's going to be a twist ending. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at that kind of ending. And they went for it here, and it had me rolling my eyes rather than being like, holy shit, holy shit. I was like, oh, okay, I guess the movie's over now. That was kind of disappointing. And I see what they were going for, but I've seen it done a lot better in a lot other places, so that had me disappointed. But this movie did offer a really good vibe for the most part. It's a thriller mostly. There aren't a lot of horror elements in it, and I was feeling it for a little bit until I wasn't, and until I knew what was going on. I was like, oh, eye roll, eye roll, eye roll. So would I recommend this movie? Not really, unless you're a horror junkie or a Game of Thrones junkie, you want to see Maisie Williams and something else. I would skip it probably, but I would still give it a 4 out of 10. It had its redeemable qualities to it, but I don't think I'll ever be returning to it. Unless I go through a Maisie Williams kick again, that's when The Owners is going to hit my Blu-ray player next. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you saw here, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and like, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Just a few minutes more, and then a lovely long sleep.